Welcome to the Headless DAM with Cloudinary Bootcamp course. I am Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator, and also your host throughout this entire bootcamp. If you have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of me right there, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. In this interview with Becky Peltz, she's the Curriculum Program Manager Developer Education at Cloudinary, and she's also a presenter in this bootcamp. You're going to learn all about video codecs, containers, and compressions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Becky in. Becky, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Hey, Marcel, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking forward to this. I'm a big video guy. I love video editing and stuff. So I was definitely looking forward to interviewing you. But before we get started, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I've been working education for about 6 years, but I worked about 35 years as an application developer before that. So I have gone through many eras of computing, and I started as a computer operator back when computers needed an operator.
Yeah.
And now I am teaching people how to use Cloudinary.
On what computer were you operating?
Oh, yeah, well, there was a period of time where there was a movement out of mainframe computing. I don't even think
Into minis?
Yeah. Into minis, yeah.
Yeah.
And mini computers need an operator. They were a lot smaller than a mainframe, but we had the tape drives were like washing machines. I mean, they were huge, and we needed to.
We're talking about tapes like this, tapes.
Oh yeah, and also the storage. We had hard drives. They were like the washing machine.
Punch cards or anything, or?
There were punch cards. Yeah.
I took a class many years ago. I'm a little bit old. I took a class many years ago in college, and we actually wrote a program in COBOL and stored it in punch cards. So.
Oh yeah, I have done that. And it's a lot of fun, but you don't want to drop it down.
You don't want to drop them, yeah.
It's a lot harder.
You know what? I can just tell you that almost everybody watching has no clue what we're talking about right now.
But yeah, I've managed to kind of ride the crest of computing for my career, and it's been really fun.
And it's wonderful to see where we're at today, right?
Oh,
compared to 40 years ago.
Yeah, it's a very creative age, I think. I mean, people are able to grab hold of technology and do all kinds of interesting things. So innovation is just
it's amazing. Yeah, definitely. So besides technology, what's your hobby? What do you like to do?
Well, I like to get away from a computer, and that involves going outdoors. And so I'm into like hiking, biking, paddleboarding in the summer. In the winter, I get into skiing. So, anything to kind of keep active and, kind of keep your mind off work sometimes.
Yep, totally. Yeah, we just did some hiking at locally here in Channel Islands, and it's like completely isolated, and it's just wonderful. There was no signal or anything, and you're completely disconnected. It takes a little bit to get used to at the beginning because, we're so connected. But then once you do, it's just your mind just completely clears up. So I can totally relate.
I go for a steep hill, because once you start walking up a steep hill, your mind is like only on how am I going to do that? I hope I don't slip down backwards.
I just don't like looking down. That's the only thing. I'm afraid of heights. So
I think there's a genetic component to fear of heights. I'm finding.
Yeah. Well, my son, and we're going to get going here because this is not what they tuned in for, but my son is not afraid of heights. He could literally be on the edge, and I'm freaking out because, move back. Yeah. He's like nothing. Some people are just like that. Yeah, definitely. All right. So you're doing a lesson on video codecs, containers, compression, a bunch of stuff. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about that. So why don't we start with what is the difference between a video codec and a video container?
That's a great question. And in fact, they are absolutely related. Containers, we know them best by file extensions, MP4, MOV, WAV, all of those extensions. And those extensions indicate file formats. So what containers are set up to do is to hold video streams and audio streams, as well as codecs. So what are codecs? Codec is a word. It's one of those portmanteau words where code decode is smashed together in one word. And what they do is they create the compression that we need for video. And we're going to talk a lot about that in the course. And so we need to code that we need to use an algorithm to code that compression. So we take a big video, we usually remove large chunks of data to compress it. And then we also will need to decompress it when we play it back. So those codecs, those go into the container. So this file format that we see is like MP4, MOV, actually contains a number of data elements that the player will be able to then take apart and decode, decompress the video, and play it back to you frame by frame. So that's the relationship.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what are some properties of video that people should be aware of?
Yeah, that's great. The thing that you want to think about with video is it's like a series of images. So many of the properties of images are also properties of video, in particular, resolution, height, and width. So picture that a video has both a height and a width, therefore an aspect ratio. And these are really evident when you look at, like, on an iPhone, you have a taller, larger width and larger height and width, whereas on your desktop, you have a video running with a larger width. And that's very important. And we're going to learn a lot about that. But the next step is it's a series of videos that run over time. So we look at duration. How long is the video?
Right.
That's important to users, because do I want to spend the time to watch that video? But it's really important because if you have a really long video, it means you have more frames possibly. And so we look at bit rate. How we want to kind of optimize with bit rate. We want it to be smaller. So, we want it we want the video to have to not use as many bytes. So we're going to get into that. How do you look at the bits in a video? Because we want it to move faster over the internet, or we want it to have less storage space. But we also want quality. And so we have to pump up the bits to get a nicer quality video. So those are the kind of the properties that we're really concerned about when we're looking at delivering video to a certain location and with a certain quality.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm really looking forward to the actual lesson because I know you're going to be getting into all the details of that.
It's a little bit gritty. There's a little
Yeah,
math here.
yeah, definitely, definitely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Becky, for being here. I really appreciate it. If people want to get a hold of you, would it be that email address you're showing right there?
Yes, that's my Cloudinary email.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to your lesson. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, as always, get a hold of me right there, Marcelo at headlesscreator.com. Cheers, everybody.